In this video, we have a little bit of a Christmas drama going on over here, which actually might go and turn into a bigger deal throughout these next coming few days. Now, obviously, a lot of this type of post is going to be coming out from like Twitter users and somewhat on the big technicality side, but I keep on seeing these floating around more and more and more, so I figured I want to go report on it, kind of hear your thoughts, and kind of present you guys the news information so we can kind of go and maybe collectively come up with our own little decisions over here. So I want to go and talk about the fact that right now, people are now stating and kind of trying to go and push or prove or do more research on the fact that PlayStation actually might be going and will be faking sales. Now, this is a very, very intriguing thing, and I don't want to take it too, like, I guess, seriously, but also not too lightly, because right now it seems like the numbers are just overall not adding up. So to go talk about this potentially being really big drama, and we'll see where this kind of goes throughout these next few days. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We also have a few more days left. I'm going to probably end the PlayStation 5 or $500 giveaway for the start of the new year, so you guys all know. So you just want to subscribe or check out the Twitter and Twitch down below for the bonus entries. Feel free to. We'll probably be doing some pretty fun little Christmas streams too as well on Twitch if you guys are bored. And of course, we'll have a few more videos, so make sure you guys are subscribed for that. And let's dive on into the video itself. So, as a per recently, and I may also make a separate video on it, kind of talk about it, there's actually been a lot more bigger press in regards to a potential 50 million unit sale for the PlayStation 5. Now, even whenever I saw this kind of pop up, I was like, that's very impressive, to the point where I didn't really report on it because I wasn't really sure, and I want to do a little more of a, like a bigger, like deeper dive into it. But there's also other big things such as like the Insomniac hacks and everything else. But right now, a lot of folks are curious on how these numbers have gone so astronomically high, where it kind of seems that the Xbox is still obviously selling units, but is also staggering around. Now, I'm not a PlayStation hater. I love my PlayStation. If anything, you guys probably know I probably skew a little bit towards the PlayStation, if anything. But right now, this has been kind of intriguing, where some folks have now been highlighting the fact that these numbers are not making sense. So, there's like a few little things. We go show you some of the threads. And obviously take a lot of this type of stuff with a grain of salt, kind of a more of an intriguing Christmas idea. Or if you guys celebrate the holidays, happy holidays. Saying in the media, is the media going to go and report that we are now 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt from Sony itself that there aren't as many PlayStation 5 owners out there as we have been lied to and led to believe this whole entire time. Sony has been exaggerating their sold numbers, and it's basically maybe standing up to at least 15 to 22 million less units floating around. Now, this is very, very intriguing, because this also kind of stems down to how potentially Sony is reporting how their units are sold. And I think the high level of this is, let's go and say that there is a big purchase wave from, say, Amazon, Walmart, Best Buy, Target, whatever, GameStop. And they, for some reason, have, let's say, 5 million consoles in contract. Or let's go and say they have 1 million total just in their inventories, prepping them for really big holiday sales. You know how it just was Christmas. So maybe throughout like November, Black Friday, et cetera, they have a chance to all these, you know, basically put it all together and say we're going to go sell these consoles. Like, they're basically locked in contract. They're basically locked in good. They're going to be sold, whatever. And apparently Sony is also maybe claiming those as proper numbers. So let's go and say, like I said, there's 50 million already made, 50 million already kind of contractually obligated for Amazon. They'll do like 1 million a year or whatever, do that through all like Walmart, Target, etc. And they have a chance to go and also state that these numbers are basically allocated for. Now, that's one thing. But as well, there's also been part twos where, I don't know, it's just very intriguing how they're marking their sales. They had a really big kind of thread over here kind of discussing some of these numbers too, and it kind of apparently came out as well from some of the European numbers, and also based on the install base, where the install base is also potentially different numbers, what people have had a chance to go and see over here too as well. So basically, if you guys want to look through all this one too, saying, yeah, there's basically Sony's own internal documents that's now available for people to see on the internet, shows that Sony reporting a global install base, including the PS4, that's over 10 million worse that was reported by Sony as of January 2023. Now, I'm not trying to go and like cause any drama over here, but it is kind of intriguing stuff to pull out and kind of an interesting video to make nonetheless. So if you actually go look through the actual Sony Interactive Entertainment install basements over here, saying that the install base as of March 31st of 2023 was 136 million. And then 2022 was around 130 million. And then the growth of the install base reflects the continued popularity of the PS4 and PS5 and the increased availability of the PS5 plus other data too as well. But it also has a few little things that people are noting. And this is where some people are kind of curious on this install base maybe being somewhat padded, where they're saying that, hey, did their profits go down? Hey, are they reading this wrong? How would their profits go down in some of these numbers? And is that more of like what's going on here? Like, it basically seems like a lot of these numbers are just not adding up, and people are kind of now highlighting this, stating, hey, like, why? Like, why is the install base being changed? Why is the overall consoles being sold being so somewhat inflated? And also, why are the profit numbers not seeming all around the same? And this is very, very intriguing too. because they also have like specific notes stating the PlayStation console install base, saying the installed base is the total number of PlayStation consoles sold to consumers. The installed base is a measure used to assess market share and penetration and is a key driver of future sales and profitability of the company. The installed base as of the 31st of March 2023 was 136 million. In 2022 was 130 million. The growth of the installed base reflects the continued popularity of the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and also this increased availability of the PlayStation 5 console. So once again, their wording is also weird, because it's not necessarily saying like the people who have their consoles, it's more so the installed base. And this is where I think maybe the number, like what I was saying before, where the number of consoles officially sold, let's say to these big third-party wholesalers, so Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Amazon, etc., might also be somewhat driving these numbers. Because also don't forget there's other places in the entire planet, such as like places in Japan, in India, in China, Australia, Canada, Mexico, wherever it might be, UK especially. These numbers are also maybe potentially somewhat skewed, where these might be consoles that are technically like available but not really out there. It's kind of a very intriguing crypto term, funny enough, if you just want to go that route, where there's a like overall supply but also circulating supply. So it kind of seems like there's a big difference between the two, and that's kind of an intriguing thing because it actually does affect prices. So let's go and say there's 100 million units for PlayStation, even using simple numbers. Let's say there's 50 million units in PlayStations that are out in the planet. They are already made. Sony already has like kind of sent them out, divvied them out in storehouses or warehouses or whatever. And then let's say there's 35 million people who have bought them. They have like, opened them, downloaded games, have played them, played Call of Duty, God of War, whatever it might be. And that actually might also be a big number where there is maybe a little bit, like potentially, and also legally, this is not necessarily bad, a little bit of skewing of the data around. Now, it's kind of hard to go compare the entire launch because Xbox does not release their information out publicly. But this actually could be, like I said, potentially maybe Sony maybe kind of lying out to the public. Because right now, a lot of folks are stating and talking about how like Sony's this huge market driver, how they've sold so many consoles, how there's so many consoles available. And while I do and will always go and say, I like my PlayStation, I do think the PlayStation's selling better, we see proper sales figures respecting that in Japan, in the Europe regions especially, and obviously I think America also is skewing towards the PlayStation as well. So it's not like they're not selling more. It's not like they're not selling consoles. It's not like they're not actually doing well, but based on this random weird wordage of installed base and how they may go and drive this actually may go be skewing the numbers in a weird legal, somewhat lying, somewhat not way. Now, I think most people would probably assume in terms of pure sales, like I said, that's like probably console in-house. And that's why I think a lot of folks are curious as well on why these numbers kind of skewed up. We're seeing a lot of 35 million-ish or so numbers, but I never really saw too much of the 40 million, and I never really saw 45 million. So the fact that it kind of had these random news articles pushing this 50 million number, I think that also took a lot of folks who've been watching and seen this stuff kind of in shock. Now, that could have missed stuff. Maybe there's a huge, bigger holiday rush than I was expecting. I don't know what it might have been. Like, there's been a lot of other news I've also been covering too as well besides individual console sales. But it is intriguing to go and see because, like I said, people have noticed that their profits have gone down. How their profits go down, but they have like an even bigger spike of consoles. That's a very, once again, another intriguing thing to go and note too as well. Now, this is intriguing too because also this was in Europe, but people are also able to go and reuse these European numbers too as well to note. But it did kind of go and seem in terms of these also the profits too as well have gone down. So basically the profits even for last year were bigger. 2023 were actually smaller. As well, also the distribution costs were really not that much higher as well. Same with the cost of sales. Like they did go up more, so it seems that there is bigger stuff regardless, but at the same exact time, it doesn't seem like it's a huge number increase from the prior years. So it's intriguing. But also, if you guys can also even look here too as well, where the inventories are also way higher too on top of that. Now also the cash equivalents are also lower too as well. So it's intriguing to go and see this nonetheless. Or like it does seem like it's confirmed that the inventory for stuff such as the PlayStation 5 stock is way higher than in comparison. So maybe stock isn't moving as quickly, maybe stock is not selling as quickly, or maybe once again the same initial idea where places like Amazon, Walmart, Target, Best Buy, etc. maybe have just been buying and pre-buying stock. Now this doesn't mean that people are not buying the PlayStation, but it does also mean that Sony might have been caught in a kind of a big lie, and where if I was a actual proper like financial person, I'd be over there too as well. And they're also talking about this too, we're also even looking at some of these other numbers where they've even highlighted the fact that some of these numbers back over here when it comes to 36 million units in 29 months, while the Xbox Series X and S is sold at 21 million units as well. So people are kind of curious on this one too. Like, it's going to be very, very intriguing to see what these numbers are actually real. I just want to go and talk about this with you guys to hear your thoughts and comments down below. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, get your last minute PlayStation 5 Slim and $500 giveaway as well. If you guys also want to check out the Twitter and Twitch throughout today, you guys totally can. If you guys would like, and I appreciate y'all so much for watching here in the first place.